Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And today we have news out from First Majestic Silver as they did report their third quarter earnings. As I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, they did have record production in the third quarter of 8.8 million silver equivalent ounces. That's 2.7 million ounces of silver, 67,000 ounces of gold. Adjusted earnings in the third quarter were a net loss of 9 cents per share, primarily driven by the lower silver and gold prices in the third quarter. Although to take a look through some of the highlights, quarterly revenues 159.8 million. That was an increase of 28% compared to the third quarter 2021. Mine operating earnings of 3.3 million. Operating cash flows before movements in working capital and taxes totaled 27.7 million, and we see that cash costs were at $13.34 per silver equivalent ounce, all-in sustaining costs $17.83, which were decreases of 5% and 11% respectively. End of the quarter, the company had cash equivalents of $250 million. And they also did declare a dividend payment of 0.0061 cents per share in the third quarter. Keith Neumeyer, president and CEO, mentions they had strong production and cash flows from the Mexican operations in San Dimas and Santa Elena, where they had significant head grade improvements. Although at Jerritt Canyon, they had higher costs, which were the result of the 14-day maintenance at Jerritt Canyon. However, in the fourth quarter, that's where they are expecting to ramp up production at Jerritt Canyon, and also early into 2023 as the Smith Zone 10 West Generator and Savile 2 mines come online in November. They're hoping to increase ore deliveries up to 3,000 tons per day, which they do expect will substantially reduce costs. Down here you can see the revenues at 159.8 million, mine operating earnings of 3.3 million, and the net loss of $20.7 million. We take a look through the financial statements. You can see here the difference between the mine operating earnings and the final earnings figure before income taxes includes general administrative expenses, share-based payments, mine holding costs, foreign exchange, and finance costs. So that's how you get from that $3 million mine operating earnings to the loss of $20 million on the quarter. Again, a big factor was the lower silver and gold price, which came in at $19.74 on the quarter, and that was a decrease of 15% in the third quarter of 2021. Obviously, we saw the gold and silver prices come down, so that did affect the earnings in this quarter. In this table, you can see the breakout of the various mines, and again, the key highlight here is Jerritt Canyon, which right now had the high cash costs and all-in sustaining costs, which again is what ramping up production in the fourth quarter is where they expect to bring that down quite a bit. They did have that 14-day maintenance period, so it certainly will be good to see that number come down in the fourth quarter, which will likely make quite an impact going forward. The decrease in the cash costs for the silver equivalent ounce primarily driven by an increase in production at San Dimas and Santa Elena, where they had increased ore shipments from the Jessica and Regina veins, along with the beginning of production from the Perez vein in July. And production at Santa Elena increased 22% as a result of processing a higher percentage of the Ermitaño ore, which had higher gold grades than Santa Elena's main vein ore. And that resulted in the all-in sustaining cost in the third quarter coming down to $17.83 from $19.91 in the previous quarter. First Majestic has been able to reduce some costs since the beginning of the year, reducing workforce approximately 4%, along with reductions in general and administration costs. And as mentioned above, one of the key factors was the higher all-in sustaining cost at Jerritt Canyon, which was due to a decrease in the tons milled as they had the 14-day annual maintenance overhaul for the dual roasters in September. Although gold grades and throughput rates expected to improve in the fourth quarter as ore production from Smith Zone 10 is processed at the mill. And they're also expecting a restart of the West Gen and Savile 2 mines in November, which should increase gold grades as well as the amount of ore that is fed through the plant. in the past couple of months. They've also had a couple of high-grade gold drilling results at Jerritt Canyon, the 19.97 grams per ton over 20.9 meters and 19.35 grams per ton over 23.2 meters, which is part of what they will be focusing on going forward. So again, those are the results from First Majestic in the third quarter. Taking a quick look at the time of this recording, a little bit after the open, down 10 cents on the day. Stock has been trading in a range of up or down 10 cents so far since the open. And certainly good news with the silver price, although certainly with the recent rally in the silver and gold prices, that as well is something that would help quite a bit going forward in the fourth quarter. So link to the press release with the full details in the description field below. First Majestic will be joining us at Silverfest on Saturday. So if you have questions, there will be a chance to talk with management, find out about what's going on in Jerritt Canyon going forward, as well as the other projects. With that said, we'll wrap up for now, but First Majestic earnings are out, and click on the link in the description field below to find out a little more.